So this is at Loi Kro up in Chiang Mai against Namwan, Roro Gileleng Pang. So she's the teammate of Tananchonok, world champion Gyeosamrit, who I had fought the night before with food poisoning. So you can see on my left leg that discoloration on my thigh is an incredible leg bruise from the low kicks that Tananchonok had been slamming me with, her giant legs. But I'm feeling significantly better than I was the night before because the food poisoning was finished, and I was pretty happy to not be afraid of vomiting in the ring anymore. So my mood was good, and I'm fighting Namwan, who I've never fought before, but she's maybe 51 kilos, so she's like 3 kilos heavier than me and 3 kilos lighter than what Tananchonok was the night before. But I like fighting new people because you never know what they're going to bring out. And she actually started out pretty hard, which a lot of girls don't do. Loi Kro is an interesting stadium. I used to hate fighting there because it seemed seedy because it's surrounded by these bars. But I actually really love it now. I think that I wasn't kind of in the right space in my experience when I was fighting there up in Chiang Mai, and the promoter loved to put me against big girls because I could beat them. So it was exciting to have these kind of like circus style mismatches. And ultimately it caused a huge problem in the relationship with my gym, and I kind of wrote off this stadium as being a place that didn't have my best interests in mind. But as I've gotten better, and I actually like fighting girls so much bigger than me because I have that now as the base of my experience, and it's something that I'm more confident in. I have a direct relationship with this promoter now. And so when he's matching me with big girls, he's talking to me rather than talking to my trainers up there. And it's interesting that it's made that switch because now it's really good. And I like the seediness. If you want to see the difference between food poisoning and not food poisoning, go back and look at the fight right before this because my energy level between the two is so different. I'm all like bouncy and happy because I'm not tied to a toilet anymore. It's fantastic. You can hear the guys cheering for Thailand. Having a little bit of difficulty stabilizing myself on this part because of my banged up leg. Look at that bruise. It's incredible. My Ram Muay is from Master K, my first teacher in America. 70-plus-year-old Thai man. Love him. So you can usually tell when you go to the center of the ring like that and have to touch gloves whether your opponent is southpaw or not. I've started standing southpaw when doing that to see if I can mess with my opponents a little bit. I have to get up on the first rope in order to pop my back, whereas normal people don't do that. So she starts out hard, which is great. I think she's trying to intimidate me a little bit. But I'm back from the dead, so not going to happen. So I'm doing things a little bit similar to my fight with Tananchonok the night before. I'm trying to stay closer and kind of interrupt down low. But she's actually really good with teeps as well, so it forces me to kind of come in with my upper body a little bit more. Starting with the clinch right away though, whereas the night before I hadn't clinched until about round 3. She's really good with her front side hook though. I'm setting up my kick with kind of a slappy jab, which is good actually. It keeps me close enough so that that kick might actually land. I noticed in my past couple of fights, if I just throw the kick, I'm usually too far away. I think it allows me to lean back if I don't throw that punch first. But coming in and blocking and continuing to come in is something that I have to work on a lot, and I'm doing pretty well here. And crumple. This is why when you hear Kevin yell, Sylvie, drag her off the ropes, that's why he's telling me to do that, is because in open space, I can put girls on the ground, but if they can lean into the ropes, it makes that harder for me. That was awesome. But round 1 doesn't matter. I'm smiling at her. I feel so much better than yesterday. But still have the don't give a fuck attitude, which is good. Sometimes in training, I'll put Pinu on the ground, and he's always like, round 1 doesn't matter. So even though that was a very dominant round, it's basically just to get into the head of your opponent. But in terms of on the scorecard, that doesn't, having a round like that this early doesn't really matter. This is Sebastian from Germany in my corner helping out. He is the English language announcer at Taipei now, another stadium up in Chiang Mai. Kevin telling me to pull her off the ropes. Dang is so nice to corner for me 2 nights in a row. It's work for him. It's not, he could be home. He comes out for me. It's very nice. There used to be a like Ladyboy bar right behind where Kevin is filming from, and periodically, like in a fight, they would do a sudden show where they're like singing or like lip syncing to a song with choreographed moves. It was so incredible to, in the middle of your fight, be able to look over and see that just in the middle of nowhere. They don't do it anymore, as far as I've seen in the last year. So here I'm more sticky, trying to stay on her. And because she's southpaw, I can hit her with my right leg as her open side, which is really good. Nailing her over and over again with that. A little bit stuck in the corner though. She's really good with using that teep to keep me at a distance. For the most part I can move through it, but it's creating an obstacle, and it allows her space and chance to breathe. Like there. And she's just pinning me, so elbowing the leg, totally not a kind of knockout move, but she'll be feeling that. See how she's just keeping me off with that teep? I'm laughing about it, which is good. But it's working. She's got the length. I've had a hard time in the history of my fighting with that, we call it the wall of China, when someone blocks you across with that leg, like what she's doing now. And in this fight I did okay getting around it a few times, but it should be kind of a more instantaneous response on my part. That was nice. Parry and body punch. See how I got around it there? I need to do more stepping back or dragging back to get away from it instead of just pushing right into it. Body punches though. So there I need to just go through it, but I'm getting a little bit stuck on it. See how I just stepped back? That's what I should be doing earlier. Just step out of the way and fire something. Like there's no reason to get stuck on it. He's letting the clinch go, which is nice. A little bit stuck. This is the same announcer as the guy who was at my fight the night before at Kawila. He's a German dude. The promoters between Kawila and Loicro work together, so they have a little bit of overlap with the referees and officials and things like that. Here, Dang is telling me what Kevin's been yelling at me. He's like, you need to create space for yourself. Don't just push against her. If you back up and create the space, then you can spring back like a slingshot. Especially if she's against the ropes. She's not going to go anywhere. I used to not really be able to listen to my corners. Like, I would get the information and then forget it immediately when I went in the ring, but you have like 10 people talking to you. But you can see the way I look at Dang that I'm calm enough that I can register what he's saying. It doesn't mean I'll do it because when you go back in, it can totally just go out the other ear, but it looks really different than if you look like 50 fights ago. So the Yod Kun Pan elbow that Kevin is calling for, because she's southpaw, is really good. So her front arm and my front arm are on the same side, which means I can parry her hand out of the way and collapse that elbow, my left side, right into her because it's closer to me. As a southpaw, her side is closer to my left side. I have already forgotten that Kevin said that to me. There's no way I'm going to try that. But the way I just grabbed her on that side, that's how that elbow works. So I should be able to do it. So the difficulty for her as a fighter who loves to go backwards anyway is that there's no point in the fight where she gets to start going backwards to change the narrative of I'm ahead. She's basically been running the entire time, which means I get to keep chasing, and when I start pulling away, I've taken the fight. So as someone who likes to go backwards on her part, she has a very hard time visibly distinguishing a turning point in the fight. I need to step back off of that. That's why the ref broke it, because I'm not working. Here she's put herself in the corner, but then I'm having a hard time moving her. There's the pullback. That's what we're talking about the whole time. She slips out really nice though. She has this like angle that she slips out of my grip with really well. She's tired though. I'm not tired. I'm back from the dead. I feel awesome. And down. So my hips are in good there, which makes it hard for her to get that knee in the right position, so I can keep hitting her even though that knee is up. Getting around her a little bit. Oh, she's got nowhere to grab me because my elbows are in. Pulling her head down, almost a headlock. What the hell? And down after the bell. So Kevin wants me to elbow because I'm ahead, I'm calm. It's really a perfect opportunity to kind of use the fight for experimentation. When you don't have the pressure of trying to take a lead, or if your opponent isn't pressuring you by coming forward or being really big or really strong or any of those things, that's a great opportunity to mess with things. And I think that I just kind of was getting lost in some of the things that I was doing already, so I didn't take that opportunity. Look at the bruise on my leg. It's like square. I don't know why it has such defined lines. I think I put a heat patch on it and that caused the blood to like go to the edges, and that's why it's such a defined line. It looks like someone hit me with a 2x4 like in Tommy Boy or something. Hilarious. It's funny that she didn't kick me in the leg, given how visible it is. Like, they always say you can't hide in the ring. Everyone can see that. That's not a like, oh, yeah, no, maybe she won't notice kind of thing. So here's round 4. So there's still a chance for her to dominate in this round and take a lead. But again, as a backwards fighter, it's hard for her to make those defining, visible transitions for the fight. She's ducking out really well, so see how I'm now like scrambling, chasing her? It's a little bit risky for me to look like that, but because it's round 4 and not round 5, it's okay, as long as I keep catching her. She's got good movement though. Those knees, though, They keep landing on that side. She's she's tired. Gotta do something dramatic. Look at those arm swings. That's good though, what she does there, that was beautiful. Putting the leg up to interrupt me and then throwing that elbow off of it, almost like a Superman. That's awesome. I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm stuck, I don't care. I should go outside that leg. But it's still, my strikes are still coming around, so it's kind of okay. That's why the ref's not breaking.
Go, baby, go.
See that turn off? It's beautiful. And she strikes off of it too. Like you can get someone right in the back of the head with that. She's so tired. I should be able to knock her out right here, but I think that my energy was not fully back yet. And I'm in this like slow motion groove of just pressuring at like the same level. You have to be able to change gears. Like you can have the pressure and then you have to be able to speed up all of a sudden or like amp it for a second and then go back to coasting. The explosiveness is missing. So even though I'm like slowly grinding her down and this is a really good fight for me, looking at that, that's something that I need to like put into my head for training for fights. This is one of the things that I realized thinking about my fights the other day of having 186 fights, is that it takes you a really long time to fully solve the things that you see in fights like this. So someone can beat you because they're doing something like putting their leg up, or my fight against Clinching the night before, how she was just keeping the distance that she needed. You can solve that one thing, but it takes you a really long time to be able to solve it in a way that when there are other things that are creating problems at the same time that you can solve both. And that's what like 180 fights does, is that when you fight that exact fight again, it can have other complications and you still win. Like, it's really hard. So being able to be in one mode against this girl the way that I am right now is because of all of my fights. It's not because of like solving one or two things before. And you can see in the things that what she's choosing to do with no energy, the way that she can still duck out and the way she's still like striking on her way out, that's from her experience. It's from fighting a lot. Here she's not really fighting back against me anymore. She wants this to be just a dance-off round. And here, I put her down, she kind of stays for a second. And she tries to touch gloves, like, she's smiling at me. She's like, that's the end of the fight. But Dang is not telling me to dance off yet. So I come back in. Kevin's telling me to dance, but I don't hear him. And when I come in and grab her here, she actually said to me verbally, Paulel, she's like, I'm not going to fight you anymore. Please stop throwing me on the ground. Like, basically, I didn't get her visible touch gloves, so she's trying to get me to agree that she's not gonna try to win now. She's too tired, so we get to dance off the rest of the fight. You don't see an entire round danced off that much at like Lumpania Rajadamnar or Channel 7, but you do see it when there's like no way without a knockout that the other person is gonna win. You can watch an entire last round that's like this, that's just kind of burning the time. And the same way I had to work on like how I walk in after an 8 count, I need to work on how I dance off, because it's pretty recent. I think it's maybe the last like 50 fights or something that I've been able to actually do dance-offs at the end of a 5th round, because it took me so long to learn how to win in a 5th round. So you have to practice everything. Like, you have to practice smiling in a fight. You have to practice dancing off in a fight. That was good. She was very sweet. She was a nice girl. And that was the last of 3 fights in, I think, 4 days up in Chiang Mai. This is what the Let Grow area looks like. Putting my shoes back on. And Lana's been going to this same bar where we do our massages and stuff since before I ever got there, probably like 15 years or something. Got a nice Christmas tree. It was Christmas Eve when I fought, so good time.